What's up? What's up? This is Keith Kalfas.
Alexa, turn the music down.
Alexa, turn it off. Already, damn it. Alexa, off. Okay.
Don't be mean to her.
Okay. Yeah.
Be nice to her.
Don't be mean to Alexa.
Yeah.
She's got to go to counseling and shit. They put her on Prozac because I was yelling at her. I've been abusive to her.
I don't know that one. Yeah, you better be careful because she's got my back.
Okay, so, all right, we're reading Good to Great. I haven't done a story time with Keith in a couple weeks. Dog. Had a live event, just crazy busy, and now back on Trizac, the Shizac, yo. So, if you're just joining now, I like to do these, I don't know, a couple times a week. That's something that popped into my head, and a lot of people seem to like it. And this book's amazing. Out of all the books I've read on story time with Keith, this one specifically has it's like pure nuts and bolts insights of thinking in ways about business, of why some companies make the leap and others don't. And it talks about kind of like data analytics mindsets. And chapter 6 here, I'll get right into it. And the culture of discipline. Culture of discipline. Leadership, first who, then what, confront the brutal facts, the hedgehog concept, culture of discipline, and technology accelerators. Freedom is the only part of the story and half the truth. That is why I recommend that the Statue of Liberty on the East Coast be supplanted by a Statue of Responsibility on the West Coast. Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. In 1980, George Rathman co-founded the biotechnology company Amgen. Over the next 20 years, Amgen grew from a struggling entrepreneurial enterprise into a $3.2 billion company with 6,400 employees, creating blood products to improve the lives of people suffering through chemotherapy and kidney dialysis. Under Rathman, Amgen became one of the few biotechnology companies that delivered consistent profitability and growth. That's the first thing I thought. 6,400 employees. It better be a business that's has a lot of profit and system. That's amazing. Okay. It became so consistently profitable, in fact, that its stock price multiplied over 150 times from its public offering in June of 1983 to January of 2000. If you're just joining, we're reading From Good to Great. An investor who bought as little as $7,000 of Amgen stock would have realized a capital gain of over $1 million, 13 times better than the same investment in the general stock market. Few successful startups become great companies, in large because they respond to growth and success in the wrong way. Entrepreneurial success is fueled by creativity, imagination, bold moves into uncharted waters, and visionary zeal. As a company grows and becomes more complex, it begins to trip over its own success. Playing. Too many new people, too many new customers, too many new orders, too many new products. What was once great fun becomes an unwieldy ball of disorganized stuff. Lack of planning, lack of accounting, lack of systems, lack of hiring constraints create friction. Problems surface with customers, with cash flow, with schedules. In response, someone, often a board member, says, "It's time to grow up. This place needs some professional management." If you're just joining, we're reading From Good to Great by Jim Collins, Why Some Companies Make the Leap and Others Don't. Phenomenally successful book. This place needs some professional management. The company begins to hire MBAs and seasoned executives from blue chip companies. Processes, procedures, checklists, and all the rest begin to sprout up like weeds. What was once an egalitarian environment gets replaced with a hierarchy. Chains of command appear for the first time. Reporting relationships become clear. And an executive class with special perks begins to appear. We and they segmentations appear, just like in a real company. The professional managers finally rein in the mess. They create order out of chaos, but they also kill the entrepreneurial spirit. Members of the founding team begin to grumble. This isn't fun anymore. I used to be able to just get things done. Now I have to fill out these stupid forms and follow these stupid rules. Worst of all, I have to spend a horrendous amount of time in useless meetings. The creative magic begins to wane as some of the most innovative people leave, disgusted by the burgeoning bureaucracy and hierarchy. The exciting startup transforms into just another company.
You're squishing Miko.
I've got a foot on my head. Miko. Let's squishing him. Hey, shot guy, bye. Okay. The creative magic begins to wane as some of the innovative people leave, disgusted by the burgeoning bureaucracy and hierarchy. The exciting startup transforms into just another company, with nothing special to recommend it. The cancer of mediocrity begins to grow in earnest. What's up, Casey Sadek? Colby Kingston in the house. Jerome Spalowitz. Paramount Landscaping, the official Tyler. Window Press Clean. Fresh Clean Windows. Kay Butcher. Let me wave to you. John Ian. Doug Farrar. What's up, Cole Kendall? Jeremy Guevara. Frank Young, Jason Bloomberg, James Sickles. What up, Dow? Hit the thumbs up if you want him to keep going. Do you like this book? Let me know. Oh, you ever just crack your neck?
Let me put my leg right
in your
here.
back. Okay, there you go, babe.
Yeah.
Do you want to tag Ashley Fake Kalfas in this video? Did it recognize your face? This is some spooky.
And you always tag me on the Facebook I never go on, too.
Okay, back to the book. General George Rathman avoided this entrepreneurial death spiral. He understood that the purpose of bureaucracy is to compensate for incompetence and lack of discipline, a problem that largely goes away if you have the right people in the first place. Most companies build their bureaucratic rules to manage the small percentage of wrong people on the bus, which in turn drives away the right people on the bus, which then increases the percentage of the wrong people on the bus, which increases the need for more bureaucracy to compensate for incompetence and lack of discipline, which further drives the right people away, and so forth. Rathman also understood an alternative exists. Avoid bureaucracy and hierarchy and instead create a culture of discipline. When you put these two complementary forces together, a culture of discipline with an ethic of entrepreneurship, you get a magical alchemy of superior performance and sustained results. Showing the hierarchy in the 4 quadrants here. My dog. What's up, Jason Young? What's up, Ford Brothers, Excel Interior? What's up, John Dixon, Jason Bloomberg, Brandon Lee, Hunter Dulanch, Daniel Weber, K&K Window Cleaning, K. Burnett, Robert Gazzoni. So we have in the 4 quadrants the good to great matrix of creative discipline. On the upper left-hand quadrant, we have hierarchical organization, great organization, bureaucratic organization, startup organization. Okay, why start this chapter with a biotechnical entrepreneur rather than one of our good to great companies? Because Rathman credits much of his entrepreneur success of what he learned while working at Abbott Laboratories before founding Amgen. What I got from Abbott was the idea that when you set your objectives for the year, you record them in concrete. You can change your plans through the year, but you never change what you measure yourself against. You are rigorous at the end of the year, adhering exactly to what you said was going to happen. You don't get a chance to editorialize. You don't get a chance to adjust and finagle and decide that you really didn't intend to do that anyway, and readjust your objectives to make yourself look better. You never just focus on what you've accomplished for the year. You focus on what you've accomplished relative to exactly what you said you were going to accomplish. No matter how tough the measure, that was a discipline learned at Abbott and that we carried into Amgen. Many of the Abbott disciplines, if you're still here, say, I'm here, if this is making sense to you. What's up, Daniel Martin? Nathan Magdaleno, Steve Pelsinger. Say, I'm here, hit the thumbs up button, let me know that you're still here, because this is getting good. Many of the Abbott disciplines, and we're also on Facebook Live and Instagram Live at the same time. What's up, Gordon Wolf? Many of the Abbott disciplines trace back to 1968, when it hired a remarkable financial officer named Bernard H. Semler. Semler did not see his job as a traditional financial controller or accountant. Rather, he set out to invest mechanisms that would drive cultural change. He created a whole new framework of accounting that he called responsibility accounting, wherein every item of cost, income, and investment would be clearly identified with a single individual responsibility for that item. The idea, radical for the 1960s, was to create a system of wherein every Abbott manager in every type of job was responsible for his or her return on investment, with the same rigor that an investor holds an entrepreneurial responsible. There would be no hiding behind. Can you hear me clear? Guys, can you hear me? Can you let me know? Wave if you can hear me clear. I've got this new Rode Video Mic Me plugged into my one phone, and it's a microphone that goes on your phone to give really clear sound. I'm thinking about getting two of them, one for each phone. Because with video, it's not so much a video, it's the audio. Can you hear me clear? That's what makes sense. Okay, you can hear me. Okay. So he created a financial accountability system that holds every single manager accountable. There would be no hiding behind traditional accounting allocations, no slopping funds about to cover ineffective management, no opportunities for finger pointing. But the beauty of the Abbott system lay not just in its rigor, but in how it used rigor and discipline to enable creativity and entrepreneurship. Abbott developed a very disciplined organization, but not in a linear way of thinking. Oh, dude, Anthony Heyman from Heyman Window Cleaning sent me this book earlier. It was Mike Michalowicz, the founder of the Pumpkin Plan. He wrote the Pumpkin Plan, Profit First, and the Toilet Paper Entrepreneur. He just came out with a new book called something Go Gear Thinking System, something like that. But I just bought it, and I'm going to be listening to it on audible.com. I'll let you know how it goes. Okay. I'm fired up. They had freedom, but freedom within a framework. Abbott instilled the entrepreneur's zeal for opportunistic flexibility. We recognize that planning is priceless, but plans are useless, said one Abbott executive. But Abbott also had the discipline to say no to opportunities that failed the 3 circles test. While encouraging wide-ranging innovation within its divisions, Abbott simultaneously maintained fanatical adherence to its hedgehog concept of contributing to cost-effective health care. Abbott Laboratories exemplifies a key finding of our study, a culture of discipline. By its nature, culture is a somewhat unwieldy topic to discuss. Less prone to clean frameworks like the 3 circles, the main point of this chapter, however, boiled down to one central idea. Build a culture of people who take disciplined action within the 3 circles, fanatically consistent with the hedgehog concept, which, if it was reading the whole book, you would know what that is. More precisely, this means the following. Number 1, build a culture around the idea of freedom and responsibility within a framework. That makes sense. Number 2, fill that culture with self-disciplined people who are willing to go extreme lengths to fulfill their responsibilities. They will rinse their cottage cheese. Number 3, don't confuse where you're like, cottage cheese.
Why?
Sounds good. You know what my grandma got me eating? Has anybody here ever ate...
Whenever I lay down like this, I feel like it makes me have like...
cottage cheese and peaches? Peaches and... Have you ever ate that?
Like, that's not what I look like.
Like, crack open a can of peaches and put it in a bowl and then put cottage cheese on it. For some reason, it's so damn good. Okay.
You see these dogs?
Number 4, adhere with great consistency to the hedgehog concept. exercising an almost religious focus on the intersection of the three circles. Equally important, create a stop doing list and systematically unplug anything extraneous. Ooh, a stop doing list. Who here is going to create a stop doing list? What are some things that you're doing immediately? Oh, what's up, Daniel Miraval? I was on the phone with Daniel Miraval earlier. He's the pro high-level certified arborist dude that I made YouTube videos with. He was like air spading, and he's got like the orange shirt on. This is an amazing book. So, freedom and responsibility within a framework. What's up, Jason Young? My mom would eat that all the time when I was younger. Crumbled bread and milk? Okay. Picture an airplane pilot. Dude, if you're still here right now and you're still hanging out and you're actually interested in this stuff, of all the things you could be doing right now on social media, Instagram, Facebook, you're right here with me. Thank you for this. I appreciate your time. And this is a good place to be because we're going to get a nugget. We're going to get a golden nugget right now in this page. I can feel it. Okay? Picture an airplane pilot. She settles into the cockpit, surrounded by dozens of complicated switches and sophisticated gauges, sitting atop a massive $84 million piece of machinery. As passengers thump and stuff their bags into overhead bins and flight attendants scurry about trying to get everyone settled in, she begins her pre-flight checklist. Step by methodical step, she systematically moves through every required item. Sam Ovens, theconsulting.com, just talked about this in a video. Cleared for departure, she begins working with air traffic control, following precise instructions: which direction to take out of the gate, which way to taxi, which runway to use, which direction to take off. She doesn't throttle up and hurtle the jet into the air until she's cleared for takeoff. Once aloft, she communicates continually with flight control centers and stays within the tight boundaries of the commercial air traffic system. Make a mental note, get the book on audible.com called The Checklist Manifesto. They talk about how some people are rushed. It takes you right into the center of the ER trauma room, and it shows you like how they have all these checklists in the medical field that literally saves people's lives. Like check, 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 check. Okay, so on approach, within the tight boundaries of the commercial air traffic system. On approach, however, she hits a ferocious thunder and hailstorm, blasting winds, crossways and unpredictable...
I go to Nikki's with Jackie.
What? Just go have fun. Just go. Sorry, one of my friends and I used to joke about that. If you get upset with your spouse, she'll look at you and say, just go have fun. I love you, give me a kiss.
I'll just say no.
Hey, should I kiss my wife on... Never mind, she doesn't like PDA. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Why are you asking me if you can... Okay. On approach, however, I'm almost done here. On approach, she hits a ferocious thunder and hailstorm, blasting winds, crossways, and unpredictable. Tilt the wings down to the left, then down to the right. Looking out the windows, passengers can't see the ground. Only the thinning and thickening globs of gray clouds and the spatter of rain on the windows. The flight attendants announce, "Ladies and gentlemen, we've been asked to remain seated for the remainder of the flight. Please put your seats in upright and locked position and place your carry-on baggage under the seat in front of you. We should be on the ground shortly." Not too shortly, I hope. I think the less experienced travelers, unnerved by the roiling wind and momentary flashes of lightning, but the experienced travelers just go on reading magazines, chatting with seatmates, and preparing for their meetings on the ground. I've been through all this before, they think. She'll only land if it's safe. Sure enough, on final approach, wheels down as 250,000 pounds of steel glides down at 130 miles per hour, passengers suddenly hear the engines whine and feel themselves thrust back into their seats. The plane accelerates back into the sky. It banks around in a big arc back toward the airport. The pilot takes a moment to click on the intercom. Sorry, folks, we're getting some bad crosswinds there. We're going to give it another try. On the next go, the wind's calm just enough, and she brings the plane down safely. Now take a step back and think about the model here. The pilot operates within a very strict system, and she does not have the freedom to go outside of that system. You don't want the airplane pilots saying, "Hey, I just read in a management book about the value of being empowered, freedom to experiment, to be creative, to be entrepreneurial, and try a lot of stuff and keep what works." Yet at the same time, the crucial decisions, whether to take off, whether to land, whether to abort, whether to land elsewhere, rest with the pilot. Regardless of the structures of the system, one central fact stands out above all others. The pilot has ultimate responsibility for the airplane and the lives of the people on it. The point here is not that a company should have a system as strict and inflexible as the air traffic system. After all, if a corporate system fails, people don't die by the hundreds in burning, twisted hunks of steel. Customer service at the airlines might be terrible, but you are almost certain to get where you're going in one piece. The point of this analogy is that when we looked inside the good to great companies, we were reminded of the best part of the airplane pilot model: freedom and responsibility within the framework of a highly developed system. Are you still here? Let me know. Say, "I'm here." If you're still here, throw your hands up in the air, give me a virtual high five, go bam, and pat yourself on the back. Yo, what up, though? What is wifey doing?
I don't know.
She don't know. Alright, come on back on now. Okay, the good to great companies built a consistent system with clear constraints, but they also gave people freedom and responsibility within the framework of that system. They hired self-disciplined people who didn't need to be managed, and then managed the system, not the people. Can I get an amen to the weird looking Christmas tree painting? What the hell is that thing? We saw that in the store, and now it's on our wall.
You've seen it in the store, didn't you?
Okay, this was the secret to how we were able to run stores from a great distance, by remote control, said Bill Rivas of Circuit City. It was the combination of great store managers who had ultimate responsibility for their individual stores, operating within a great system. You've got to have management and people who believe in the system and who do whatever is necessary to make the system work. But within the boundaries of that system, store managers had a lot of leeway to coincide with their responsibility. In a sense, Circuit City became to consumer electronics retailing what McDonald's became to restaurants. Not the most exquisite experience, but an enormously consistent one. The system evolved over time as Circuit City experimented by adding new items like computers and video players, just like McDonald's added breakfast egg McMuffins. But at any given moment, everyone operated within the framework of the system. That's one of the major differences between us and all others who were in the same business in the early 1980s. Bill Zierden, they just couldn't roll it out further, and we could. We could stamp these stores out all over the country with great consistency. And did you know that, like, from, I don't know the exact dates, but it was from 1960 to 1990? Shh. Settle down. Okay, I read somewhere, I think it was from 1960 to 1990, correct me if I'm wrong. A Home Depot store had a grand opening every 48 hours nonstop for like 20 or 30 years straight. I know that's a huge gap, but it was something obscene like that. And that's insane, dude. Okay, so Therein lies one of the key reasons why Circuit City took off in the early 1980s and beat the general stock market by more than 18 times over the next 15 years. In a sense, much of this book is about creating a culture of discipline. It all starts with disciplined people. The transition begins not by trying to discipline people, the wrong people, into the right behaviors, but by getting self-disciplined people on the bus in the first place. Next, we have disciplined thought. You need the discipline to confront the brutal facts of reality, while retaining resolute faith that you can and will create a path to greatness. Most importantly, you need the discipline to persist in the search for understanding until you get the hedgehog concept. Finally, we have disciplined action. The primary subject of this chapter. This order is important. The comparison companies often try to jump right to disciplined action, but disciplined action without disciplined people is impossible to sustain. And disciplined action without disciplined thought is a recipe for disaster. What's up, John P. Foshee, Powell Outdoor Services, AC Lawn Care Elite, Yards Landscaping, Jason Blumberg, David Alfred, John Hobday, Brandon Lee, Will White 94. Indeed, discipline by itself will not produce great results. We find plenty of organizations in history that had tremendous discipline and that marched right into disaster. With precision in its nicely formed lines, no, the point is to get self-disciplined people who engage in very rigorous thinking and then take disciplined action within the framework of a consistent system designed around the hedgehog concept. Disciplined people, disciplined thought, disciplined action. Build up, break through. Rinsing your cottage cheese. Oh, so I'm about to jump off here. This is the end of story time with Keith. If you want me to stay and read this next page and learn about rinsing with cottage cheese, I need like 50 thumbs up, 50 waves, 50 virtual high fives right now, and I ain't doing it without 50. And you got 20 seconds where I'll just jump off here. Because if I ain't getting the engagement, who am I reading? I'll just read it to myself, or I'll just turn this off and I read by myself. Me and the wife are trying to learn about this good to great dog. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Oh, dude, we're already at 40. 49, 50, 60. Okay, I'll read. Rinsing your cottage cheese.
Yum.
I just read that Systemic LLC. Okay, throughout our research, there's something I learned from Brennan Burchard in his leadership course. Just follow me. He said, your commitment and your vision is what creates the following. When people can feel that you're 100% committed, they'll naturally attract you and want to follow or be part of what you're doing. But even if they can feel that you don't even believe in what the hell you're trying to do, they're not going to want to work for you because they're going to feel like, why is the boss not confident about his business? Do I even want to work for this guy? Right? So then I'm like, so I think that kind of goes back to, what are you naturally really, really passionate about? I think it's a little bit easier to be confident and very enthusiastic about something that you're passionate about, right? People buy into it. Oh, look at this. She's just a baby.
She's obsessed with me.
Just a baby.
She just wants to lick my face off all the time.
Okay, rinsing your cottage cheese. Throughout our research, we were struck by the continual use of the words like disciplined, rigorous, dogged, determined, diligent, precise, fastidious, systematic, methodical, workmanlike, demanding, consistent, focused, accountable, and responsible.
What you doing, Mo?
They peppered articles, interviews, and source materials on the good to great companies and were strikingly absent from the materials on the direct comparison companies. People in the good to great companies became somewhat extreme in the fulfillment of their responsibilities, bordering in some cases of fanaticism. We came to call this the rinsing your cottage cheese factor. The analogy comes from a disciplined world-class athlete named Dave Scott, who won the Hawaii Ironman triathlon 6 times. 6 times. In training, Scott would ride his bike 75 miles, swim 20,000 meters, and run 17 miles on average every single day. Dave Scott did not have a weight problem, yet he believed that a low-fat, high-carbohydrate diet would give him an extra edge. So Dave Scott, a man who burned at least 5,000 calories a day in training, would literally rinse his cottage cheese to get the extra fat off. Now, there is no evidence that he absolutely needed to rinse his cottage cheese to win the Ironman. That's not the point of the story. The point is that rinsing his cottage cheese was simply one more small step that he believed would make him just that much better. One more small step added to all the other small steps to create a consistent program of super discipline. I've always pictured Dave Scott running the 26 miles of the marathon, hammering away in 100-degree heat on the black, baked lava fields of the Kona coast after swimming 2.4 miles in the ocean and cycling 112 miles against ferocious crosswinds, and thinking to himself, compared to rinsing my cottage cheese every day, this just isn't that bad. I realize that it's a bizarre analogy, but in a sense, the good to great companies became like Dave Scott. Much of the answer to the question of good to great lives in the discipline to do whatever it takes to become the best within carefully selected arenas that then seek to continual improvement from there. It's really just that simple, and it's really just that difficult. What's up, Octavian Doger, David J. Hale, Tristan Marsh, Systemic LLC, Brandon Lee. So, 2 videos were recently put out on YouTube that kind of caught my attention. Stanley Janek, Dirt Monkey, made a video.
Come on, baby, get up.
He was on stage speaking at the Pandemonium. I think he brought something up about the 10X Grant Cardone thing and how he believes it could be counterproductive for small businesses and landscaping companies by, he was talking about how growing your business really, really fast could be, anybody see this video? Let me know. It was a very powerful video. He was talking about how he thinks getting hyper profitable first and knowing your numbers and then scaling is more important. And then it caught the attention of Mr. Tigran Gertz because he really, really likes Grant Cardone. And then he came back with a rebuttal video to what Stan said, and he had a lot of really good points as well. And then Tigran Gertz came on and said something really interesting. He was talking about, like, stop obsessing over all the little tiny expenses, focus on sales, and then everything else will take care of itself. So I really, really like his focus as well. And by taking both of their points and like taking what you like from both and going like, wow, it's really, really powerful what we have on YouTube and on social media now to get 2 experts that are both at the top of their fields and then listen to how they have almost drastically different, and I'm sure they probably agree on things too, but they have drastically different perceptions about one specific topic. Then you get all this dynamic range of connecting the dots inside of your own head, and then you can take the best of both. And I really, really like that, how they both stand in their square about that. And then the one thing that I learned the most from Stan Genetic, because I'm actually really good friends with Stan, is I really love his frugality. Like, the dude has no problem bringing in income and crushing it in sales, but he's really, really frugal, and he's concentrated on being extremely smart with his expenses. He knows his numbers. And the one thing I really aspire and that I like about Tigran Gertz, like, if there was the word confidence in the dictionary, there would be a picture of Tigran Gertz. And confidence is like your ability to... Confidence, the definition of it to me means you believe in your own ability to figure things out. Even if you don't know the answer, you're like, I can figure that out. And that's really cool. What's up? We got Joe Kowalski on here right now. If you're just joining, I'm reading Good to Great. And something in the book made me think of those videos that are on YouTube, and I brought it up. And he's talking about culture. All right, I'll see you in a little bit. Love you. Give me a kiss before you go. So, if you are just joining, we learn a lot of stuff about disciplined thought, disciplined action, disciplined people, and creating a culture of that, and how not putting the cart before the horse. So, everyone would like to be the best, but most organizations lack the discipline to figure out with the egoless clarity. I need some water. One second.
The dogs. Alright, I'll be back.
Alright, love you. I got a bunch of orange juice left over from the marketing event. Alright, I'll see you in a bit. My wife and I usually do Tuesday night date night, but we went out to eat earlier and we spent most of the day together. I was kind of helping her do product shots for her apron business, and I mean, we were literally together all damn day, so she's going to hang out with her girlfriends for a little bit. Everyone would like to be the best, but most organizations lack the discipline to figure out with the egoless clarity what they can be the best at and what the will to do whatever it takes to turn that potential into reality. They lack the discipline to rinse their cottage cheese. Who here lacks the discipline to rinse their cottage cheese? I know I do. Read the E-Myth yet? Oh yeah. Consider Wells Fargo in contrast to Bank of America. Carl Icahn never doubted that Wells Fargo could emerge from bank. Guys, right now I'm either going to lease out this nice ass office and turn it to a podcast studio, or in my basement I'm going to buy that nice wood fox paneling with lights, and I'm going to set up a pro podcast studio in my basement that's totally silent. And then there's so much content I want to put out, so much stuff I want to cover, so many things I want to talk about, things that I like. This is way overdue and I can't wait to do it. But anyways, we're going to be doing plenty of interviews. I was on Zoom today with Chance Daily Hustle. It was an amazing Zoom call, and I'll be releasing that pretty soon on my YouTube channel and on Facebook. The things the guy talks about with sales it's unlike anything I've ever heard before. The perspective, and so I'll be doing a lot of interviews and starting to get into the whole podcasting thing, because I want to start bringing other experts into the industry and just put a lot more value out in my social media from other people's perspectives. Because this is a huge opportunity. There's probably 1 million of these going on right now on social media all over the place. And it's just funny to me how people are in certain spaces in their lives where they're not learning, they're just entertaining themselves to death. Like watching... Who here has ever watched the video People Are Awesome? And it's like people... They're like doing skateboarding tricks and... I don't know, you could just get sucked in the YouTube world and shit like that, and then before you know it, you wasted like the whole night and you didn't learn anything. But okay, so consider Wells Fargo in contrast to Bank of America. Carl Icahn never doubted that Wells Fargo could emerge from bank deregulation as a stronger company, not a weaker one. He saw that the key to becoming a great company rested not with brilliant new strategies, but with the sheer determination to rip 100 years of banker mentality out of the system. There's too much waste in banking, said Icahn. Getting rid of it takes tenacity, not brilliance. Icahn set a clear tone at the top. We're not going to ask everyone else to suffer while we sit on high. We will start by rinsing our own cottage cheese. Right here in the executive suite, he froze executive salaries for 2 years, despite the fact that Wells Fargo was enjoying some of the most profitable years in its history. He shut the executive dining room and replaced it with a college dorm food service caterer. He closed the executive elevator, sold the corporate jets, and banned green plants from the executive suite as too expensive to water. He removed free coffee from the executive suite. He eliminated Christmas trees from management. He threw reports back at people who'd submitted them in fancy binders with the admonishment, would you spend your own money this way? What does a binder add to anything? Reichardt would sit through meetings with fellow executives in a beat-up old chair with the stuffing hanging out. Sometimes he would just sit there and pick at the stuffing while listening to proposals to spend money, said one article. And a lot of must-do projects just melted away. Across the street at Bank of America, executives also faced deregulation and recognized the need to eliminate waste. However, unlike Wells Fargo, B of A executives didn't have the discipline to rinse their own cottage cheese. They preserved their posh executive kingdom in its imposing tower in downtown San Francisco. The CEO's office, described in the book Breaking the Bank as a northeast corner suite with a large attached counter, oriental rugs, and floor-to-ceiling windows that offered a sweeping panorama of the San Francisco Bay from the Golden Gate to the Bay Bridge. We found no evidence of the executive chairs with the stuffing hanging out. The elevator made its last stop at the executive floor and descended all the way down to the ground in a quiet whoosh, unfettered by the intrusions of lesser beings. The vast open space in the executive suite made the windows look even taller than they actually were, creating a sense of floating above the fog in an elevated city of alien elites who ruled the world from above. Excuse me. Why rinse our cottage cheese when life is so good? After losing $1.8 billion across 3 years in the mid-1980s, B of A eventually made the necessary changes in response to deregulation, largely by hiring ex-Wells executives. But even in the darkest days, B of A could not bring itself to get rid of the perks that shielded its executives from the real world. At one board meeting during Bank of America's crisis period, one member made sensible suggestions like sell the corporate jet. Other directors listened to the recommendations, then passed them by. A culture, not a tyrant or a tyrant. Is it a tyrant or a tyrant? What's up, Ryan Holm, Patrick McGee, Josh Williams, Brandon Lee? Get faded. We almost didn't include this chapter in the book. On the one hand, the good to great companies became more disciplined than the direct comparison companies. As with Wells Fargo, in contrast to Bank of America, on the other hand, the unsustained comparisons showed themselves to be just as disciplined as the good to great companies. Based on my analysis, I don't think we can put discipline in the book as a finding, said Eric Hagen, after he completed a special analysis unit looking at the leadership cultures across the companies. It is absolutely clear that the unsustained comparison CEOs brought tremendous discipline to their companies, and that is why they got such great initial results. So, discipline just doesn't pass muster as distinguishing variable. You might be able to agree with me a bit. The way this is written is almost like, okay, get to the point, but it does. Curious, we decided to take a further look into the issue, and Eric undertook a more in-depth analysis. As we further examined the evidence, it became clear that, despite surface appearances, there was indeed a huge difference between the two sets of companies in their approach to discipline. My throat's so dry. I think I'm projecting my voice so much. Here, I'll get closer. Hey, I want to admit something. If you were a married man, I don't have kids yet, and I will have kids one day. The feeling of being in a house that is quiet. Quiet. I can hear the crickets chirping. It's fucking fantastic. I'm madly in love with my wife. But like literally like every 20 seconds when she's home, babe. She's got this whine in her voice that goes, babe. And I go, yes, honey. And she'll just ask me something so redundant, like, I don't know. Do we have any coffee creamer? Like, why don't you go in the fridge and fucking look, dude? I'm fucking trying to be. Babe! Listen, I have my bubble. We're in a bubble together, but I have my bubble. You have your bubble. I'm not in your bubble just because I'm here in the same bubble. I'm in your bubble. So once every 5-6 minutes when you have a random thought, you can go, like, she'll just like walk across the fucking kitchen and I love the woman, but she'll say something to me, like as something that's going on in her head that she's like thinking, and I understand she's got her own business, she's going on, I'm very proud of her. And she'll just like say something and then get upset with me because I wasn't listening to her the whole time. Like I'm just here to just listen to you the whole time. And everything that like because I gotta hustle too, right? But it's so crazy because I do the same shit to her. Like and it's so, and she'll be like sewing. She's in her sewing room. She's fucking sewing, man. She's making her fucking, this is what she does, right? And I go in there and I'll just be like it's just so fucking crazy. And she's like just sewing, ignoring me. And I'm like, she's not listening to me anyways. But if she does listen to me, I'm like, oh shit. Like she was totally in her world, like in her hustle. And then I blurted out of my mouth what I was thinking. And be very, very careful. If you like ever vent to your woman about what you're going through, what happened at work, and you're like, oh, I got it out. Now you gotta sit there for 3 times as fucking long and listen to every fucking thing that she's going through, and now your whole night is gone, right? And if you don't listen, you better be prepared for a real fucking intense argument. I fucking listen to all your bullshit, but no, you can't listen to me because you're a selfish bastard. That's why. Wait till you have kids, bro. I'm freaked out about having kids. You want the truth? I'm freaked out. At the marketing ROI after party, her mom and her sister and her sister's husband, all my in-laws, and they're there. And they fucking cornered me. They go, when are you going to have kids? And I looked and my whole face turned red in front of everybody. I was like, so now I look at my wife, I go, honey, when are we going to have kids? And then she's now freaking out and saying, I'm trying to build my apron business into my dreams. Anyways, I shouldn't have brought that up. But you brought it up, Rex Landscaping. You said, when are you going to have kids? Consider Ray McDonald, who took command of Burroughs in 1964. A brilliant but abrasive man. Oh, and I learned one more thing. I learned this from... before I got married, there's this amazing program by David D'Angelo. It's called The 77 Laws of Success with Women in Dating. It's fucking incredible, dude. He basically says, like, it's about, he goes, okay, men can never go backwards in a certain way. I don't want to say here, but he says women can never go backwards in lifestyle. Women can never go backwards in lifestyle. So every time you elevate your lifestyle, it becomes the new norm. And I think that, and I don't say anything bad about women because there's plenty of horrendous things bad about men. Like, my wife wants to move out of this condo. And okay, so the housing market's way up. We're like waiting for it to crash so we can get a house or go down a bit. We were gonna get a house 2 years ago, then we got stuck in this condo because the houses we were looking at are like $50,000 more now. We're just kind of playing the renting game. We might move out of Michigan. It's just where we're at. And she like wants to move in this condo like half a city over, and it's like gorgeous, but it's more expensive than this by a lot. And I'm like, I'm not trying to do that right now. Like we could afford it, but I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to keep us like here. And I've been really stressed out about it. And she's like trying to get me in this perfect thing where I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's fucking do it. No, because when you're feeling really good, if you make a decision when you're feeling good and you're really confident, dude, buy her a house. Just go buy one. Just go. Thanks, Jason Bloomberg. Dude, buy her a house. Why don't you just fucking buy her house, says Jason Bloomberg. Come on, I bought my wife a house. I bought her mom a house too. With Lamborghinis and fucking Bugatti Veyrons. They're all over. Just buy her a house, bro. All right, dude. Let's do it. Keith, what's your top 3 words of advice for starting a landscaping business? Like, literally just go out there and look like an idiot and go knock on every door, post newspaper ads, Facebook, start all your social media profiles and anything that you can get for free online, and go tell everybody. Everybody becomes your customer, your friends, your family, your past. The best thing you do is literally make a list of every single human being you've ever met in your entire life with all their names, addresses, and phone numbers. Go through all your contacts on your phone and get on the phone and start cold calling and let everybody you know and have ever met in your life. It's like multi-level marketing. And contact all those people like, I'm in business. You need anything done? I'm there. I'll cut your grass, I'll mow your lawn, I'll trim your shrubs, I'll do your mulch. I'm there. I'm your dude. And just become like, shut down everything in your life that doesn't make money and go balls out ape shit. That's what I think if you want to start a landscape business. Okay. I'm ballin', Jason Bloomberg says. I show $51,000 on my taxes. And think of that as a 28% profit margin. Oh, that's balling. I'm trying to make $51,000 a week, motherfucker. Dude, I referred my buddy a landscape retaining wall, and I got a $400 referral. He stopped by my house last night. Well, I already spent a little bit, and he hands me $400, and I didn't want to say anything to him. I just wanted to see if we could start working out deals. And now I got another $6,400 landscape project on the line. And then I'm going to start, once I'm getting in there and I'm learning, I'm going to come on and start subcontracting work out and selling higher ticket jobs. I say, even if it's 15-20% to start out with, I want to eventually hit 30%. But you got to somewhere learn. And then raise the prices and price yourself out of the market of what you're currently doing. So you're getting less work at higher prices and then reinvesting that energy. What do you mean, dude? Come on. Jason Bloomberg. I don't know you personally, but I could tell by your comments that you're fucking, you probably have $1 million company and you're watching me right now like, how come you just don't go buy one? Why is it so hot in here, dude? My wife, she's always freezing. She likes to, 1 second. Okay, sweet. What's up, Tristan Russell? Okay. You know, all this shit is really good, but I still think, who here would do something that they fucking hate just because you can make good money doing it? Let me know. Would you do something you hate doing that you're miserable doing 10 to 12 hours a day just because you can make good money doing it. You would do that if you didn't have any other options. But how long would you do that for? Chant's Daily Hustle is here? Do you want me to bring you on camera, Chant? I love Daniel Shalab. He would temporarily, but he says F that long term. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I'm so fucking sick and tired of landscaping and doing property maintenance on people's properties. I'm sick and tired of even selling the jobs and having people do the work. Like, the guys that work for me and showing up and they like, it's driving me insane. And I think the only thing that gets me more excited is more money. So now it's literally being forced into higher ticket sale jobs, raising the floor, having a minimum, weeding out all the shitty clients that I don't want to deal with, and only doing what the hell I want to do on my terms. What about you? I want to sit in an inner circle on a round table and figure all this out. I was on the phone with Chant's Daily Hustle earlier. Check him out on YouTube. He's here watching right now. He gets excited specifically about the hustle in and of itself. It's not the actual, like, the thing of, say, landscaping. Even though he probably likes landscaping, he was talking about he just loves building things and watching. He loves manifesting things and making things work and building and making money. Like, that's a really cool way to look at it. Ron Papke. I don't love carpet cleaning. I love making money and building a business. That's what Ron says, right? So when you look at your business in that perspective, I think that, like, the landscaping, window cleaning, carpet cleaning, it's really, really, really cool because you can learn how to run a small business and all the modalities and ins and outs of it without a whole lot of risk in there. Like, you can get in yourself and then hire a guy, then 2 guys and 3 guys and have a couple trucks out. And you can do that all within a few years and learn all these invaluable experiences. That's kind of like a service business, and it's you get like an education that you don't get with a couple years of college from that. Higher ticket is key, says Gary the landscaper. I bid 3 jobs this past week, all of which went with someone else, which means I dodged a bullet. They were low budget, high maintenance customers. Right? I'm glad. That's really good honesty right there. You didn't get the jobs, which means you dodged a bullet. That's awesome right there. Chant, I was on the phone with Chant earlier, and he said, he might go out and do a whole bunch of quotes. And if he cherry picks, this is my words now, the ones that he wants, he got these really good paying high profit jobs in with a high profit margin. And then his guys are staying very busy. I just think it's really cool how after a few years in the business, once you turn your lead generation machine on and you've got the phone ringing so much, then you can get to the point where you're just sifting through the bad apples and you're just picking out the shiny ones that you want. You're cherry picking and then naming your price. It gets a little bit easier than that. And I'm sure anybody here can attest to that. So, lower paying jobs that you deny. Do you refer a lower level business, says Butcher the Lawn? No, I don't. I fucking don't even have time. Like, I don't even have time to even answer my phone. I have a secretary now that does that. She answers the phone calls. She talks to the clients. She's trained to sell the window cleaning jobs over the phone. All landscaping quotes. She sends back to me and sets up a schedule, a quote. Excuse me. Then I go out on predetermined days, usually Saturdays, and I go out and I knock out 10 to 12 quotes every single Saturday. All landscaping. The window cleaning is all done completely over the phone on Google Earth. We're getting set up on Kirk Kempton's Responsibid right now, and we're already on Service Monster CRM software. So the window cleaning part of the business, the sales and marketing is pretty much automated as far as I'm concerned. We just literally show up to do the work. So they get the leads from Google, from Facebook, from email marketing campaigns, from ads, from just follow-up, customer or repeat, we have notes in our calendars for repeating to customers. Then they get a hold of the office. The secretary picks up the phone, schedules the whole thing, and we show up and do 3 window cleaning jobs. Boom, 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 and it's all like kind of automated. And then we charge your credit card, and then it just goes. Instagram is about to shut off. I got 10 seconds left till it times out. So if you want to hop over on Facebook, you can hop over on Facebook, and I'll continue talking about that. So, end live video, Instagram. All right, now I'm here just on Facebook. Chant, do you want to come on, Chant, and talk about this for a minute? He's like, I don't know. I'd love to have you come on for a minute. Chant's an amazing source of entertainment. Yeah, no. Chant, yes.
What's up, man?
Yeah. I know you all know who Chant is. Chant's Daily Hustle.
Yeah, we talked this afternoon.
Yeah, dude. So you said that. So everybody, they love talking about business because everybody's at like a different level. And dude, you were absolutely crushing it in your business. You're in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. You got the big equipment, the big machines. You're doing the big jobs. Do you have a floor, like a minimum price that you'll deal with? And how do you sift through to cherry pick the jobs that you want? What does that look like?
No, I don't have a minimum. What I do, I don't have a minimum. I go in there. When we go out do bids, we go talk to the customer, and we literally, if my guys are landscaping, right, and there's a small profitable job, if you just say $800-900 we can make profit in between them landscaping, dude. I pull my guys out of landscaping, say around 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, just to get that small little project done. Boom, you get your profit fast. Small jobs we collect too, but we fit them in between our big jobs, so then the cash flow keeps coming in. So that's how we do it.
Well, keep on talking. This is getting good.
That's how we do it. It's no secret. It's just the money's there. It's how fast do we want to grab it?
So I know when I had 2 trucks out and 6 guys working, and my wife was in the office, I was out selling. But in between selling, I was ordering materials and this and that, and stopping at the job site. It was like fucking, dude, it was crazy. It was very stressful. Are you going through all that right now?
No, I do take the materials out to the guys, but now I've got 2 great guys that they know what they're doing. They work great together. They just go at it. They get shit done. They get stuff done. And for the last 2 months, I've been in the office selling jobs, doing book work, getting them materials, and then they just run with it. You know.
I purposely hired guys that I pay my guys a little bit more now, but I hired guys at that time period that I could pay a little bit less that weren't leaders because I was insecure about the stability of my business. So I purposely hired guys that I knew that weren't very stable. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So your confidence is so strong in your direction. I mean, you give up, you get rich or die trying, and they can feel that. I was talking about that earlier before you jumped on reading this book, that when people have confidence in their leader, like it's just a natural to attract good guys, and you also compensate them, right?
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Everybody gets paid good, and even if my guy needs a truck, if I can afford it, and we're making money, everybody's winning. Everybody's winning, and everybody has something to look for. It's like a culture that we build in our business. It has to start with us first, and then it rolls off to our employees and everything. So,
for a long time and even now, like my weak point, dude, is I'm way too attached to security.
Yeah.
And safety and growing my business and pulling the trigger and taking out loans. Like I'm like scared of that shit. And I talk to you and your perspective is the opposite. Talk about that.
Well, like we talked about earlier, I've always started in the mindset of I didn't have money in the beginning, so I had to borrow money. Well, I had to clean house, get my credit good, so that I can afford a $250 Craftsman push mower. At that time, I couldn't even afford anything. So when you don't have money, you have to start somewhere. First you have to take care of yourself first. You got to clean all the bad debt that you had in the past before you can do anything. So, I did that, and I was able to take a Sears card out to get a push mower for my own house. It wasn't even a business at that time. It wasn't even a business. And I brought it home, and I told my wife, I go, Amy, how do I pay? Like, I got to figure out how we're going to make this payment for this $250 push mower. How are we going to do that? So I went around the whole neighborhood. One guy out of 20 or 30 people I knocked on the doors, one guy gave me the job, and that sealed the deal to me, knowing that there's people out there that will pay for my service. It's just a push mower.
Okay, fast forward the analogy to when you buy your $60,000 Bobcat skid steer. How does that work?
How does that work? It's the same mindset. It's the same mindset. You keep building. You keep building. You start with one Bobcat, boom, you pay. You go. You grow the business. It helps you make money. Okay, dude, it just, when you have that, when the system's in you already, it just rolls. It doesn't stop. It gets bigger. It's there. So now you're not afraid. You're not afraid to tackle, because money is just money. It's just numbers. It's straight up numbers, like we talked about. It's to get us somewhere. So if a guy is operating at 100,000 a year, and one guy's operating at $1 million, it's the same game. It's the same game, but on a different level field. You take away the number, or you take away like how much we have. This guy from here, this guy up here. It's the same game. Are we wanting to risk that much? Because the number scares us.
Here's one thing. This is a lot of times people, including myself, aren't afraid that they don't have the ability. They know that they can pull the trigger and they can get the equipment.
Yep.
If they really wanted to, they could make it all blow up and happen. But what we're really afraid of is when we do that, are we going to be able to deal with that tremendous amount of responsibility without having a breakdown, or like the marriage falling apart, or like ending up, like losing your fucking mind and becoming a fool in front of all your employees because you're going to crack up. Like, how does that work? Have you ever cracked up?
I had that in the beginning. Believe me, I've had that. I've had that where I questioned, is this the way I really want to go? But 3 years, like the last 3 years out of my 9 years that I've been in business, I fell in love with my business again. 3 years, like from 3 years now. If you guys watch my YouTube channel, it's not just for show. You watch that growth. I've had my YouTube channel for up two and a half years. I fell in love with my business again. So out of that 9 years, 3 years, I really loved it. The rest, it was like building and getting stuck. And I was getting nowhere because I was scared. I was scared to fail. Because when you're working with big numbers and people see you doing this and doing that, and what hurts the most is to people, I think, is that if they lose, their ego gets affected. The whole neighborhood knows. The whole world knows because we failed. But I don't really care, Keith. I don't really care.
You don't give a shit.
I don't know, because I've taken the risk. Nobody else is gonna do that for me. Nobody's paying my bills. Nobody's doing
Look
it.
at this, guys. You're so passionate. I want to see 100 thumbs up. There's 28 people watching, like it says. I want to give this guy a round of applause, a virtual high five, and give him 100 thumbs up. Chance Daily Hustle. 5 million views on YouTube, bro. Sharing the good word, the good wisdom, and the good news.
You know,
Very
it's
inspired. Okay, keep going. Talk about that.
man, believe me, if my wife was on here, Keith, if my wife was on there, she would she would literally tell you how it is. It's the late nights, the early mornings, we get up, we go, boom, boom, boom. How bad do we want this, man? How bad do we want this life in America? I said, man, if I told you before, if I lost it all, I'm going to freaking make that dollar back that day I lost it.
Yeah, dude.
It's
See everybody how he has you have a mindset of gratitude. You see the glasses half full. You're an optimistic person. That's half the battle, dude. I'm a pessimist a lot of time. Like at least 50% of my day, and can anybody attest to this if you're willing to admit it? My mind is mulling over too much negative shit. And I wake up when I wake up and I'm really happy some days, and I'm like, oh, dude, like I got this.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you feel like that? Like I got this, dude.
Every morning, man, I wake up. Believe me, for the last 3 years, not that I'm getting like my ego up this high. It's because I feel good. When you feel good, you want to keep feeling good. You don't want to go back to where I used to be. So then I eliminate all that negativity and all that poor me. Then you just go, man. You just go.
So do you choose? Like what I mean is I do Bible studies with my neighbor on Sundays, and he says like, I'm not trying to push any beliefs on anybody, but he says like, Lord, grab any thought in my mind that's negative or not aligned with your goodness. Grab that thought and hold it captive and cast it down. Any thought of negativity, any thought that's messed up, like, do you control your mind? Like if you start getting negative or having a bad attitude?
Yeah. I do. See, when I start getting bad attitude or I wake up freaking on the wrong side, I got to take inventory quick, man, of why I'm feeling this way. Why am I acting this way? Am I pissed off at somebody? Am I mad at somebody? You take inventory, you correct that, and you make amends and clean house and be done with. Move on. And you get moving to the day. And then you ask yourself, okay, what can I get done today and where? Just make it productive.
I got a personal question. It's business. If you're going to invest in a piece of equipment and you look to your wife and you say, honey, I think I'm going to go get a $60,000 Bobcat.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Did your woman go, what?
No. I go pick it up, then I tell her.
Everybody listen close. Here's the good stuff.
I go pick it up and then I tell her. That's all I do on my equipment. Cause she's seen what's worked. She sees for the last 25, 26 years with us, she's seen what has never worked and what has worked. And I think that belief that she sees now in what I do, it's almost like, just do it. You're happy. You go for it. Right?
So she supports that. Your woman supports you, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how much.
Being an entrepreneur, I want to know if anybody you hear like sometimes my wife thinks I'm insane. I have these crazy. I go, honey. I literally came upstairs with the winter. I'm gonna launch this thing called marketing ROI, and all these people are gonna show up. It's gonna be a new thing.
Right.
She's like, what the fuck? And like when you have these crazy ideas, you can actually turn into something. But I feel like, can you get so obsessed with your business that you start ignoring maybe some of the things that, what's so funny, dude?
No, I go ahead, finish. I'd love to share my thoughts. Go ahead.
Oh, you already got it. I don't even have to finish. You go. You already know where I'm going with it.
As entrepreneurs, we got all this crap running in our head, right? It's normal. It's normal. But when we go to explain it to our wife, it's not normal because they're worried about something else. Maybe their shoes or their what to wear, what to do, those are the things they worry about. So I share my thoughts to my wife all the time, but I know she doesn't. It's just she probably doesn't even hear it. Listen. but I just share it just to share it, right? And
Yeah.
I just don't have her believe. Like, she just says, "Do it, just do it, whatever." You know,
It's
it
good.
comes out
Bro,
like
I'm
that.
coming to Minnesota and we're gonna make a YouTube video, bro. It's
Oh
gonna be
yeah.
awesome.
Hmm.
I'm
Oh yeah.
fired up.
Yeah, I'm fired up.
Uh, I'm sure Chant's very busy. He's got to go, and I appreciate his time on here. Does anybody have a quick question for him before he goes? And you got to check him out. You know who he is now. I know you already know who Chant is, dude. He's going to be at the GIE Expo for sure. But anybody?
Oh yeah. So, yep, at the expo, hang out, chit chat. So
Uh,
it's normal. It's normal to us, man. I become so obsessed with the stuff I do. That's the only thing that makes me happy. You know?
yeah. Happiness, success. The definition of success is when you are in hot pursuit of a worthwhile goal.
Yes. Hmm.
When you are chasing a goal that you are passionate about, you're successful as long as
Yeah.
you're in that chase.
Right. Yeah. It's the process, how we get there. That's the fun part. And then once you get there, then you got another goal.
Daniel Shalav says, Chant, stick to one business and focus or do multiple side hustles? That's a good question.
What's that? Stick to. Oh, you got to. You start out with one, right? You start out with one business, focus on that, build that foundation, and then that one business will build the rest of the side hustle for you. Because now you got to distribute the profits somewhere to work for you. So my landscaping is my foundation, and it's okay. Uncle Sam, we talked about it. You make that profit, then if you got that profit, you build side hustle to generate other cash flow, and it keeps coming in. So you start with one, then do many.
Oh, so you could say Uncle Sam or reinvest.
You're right, Uncle Sam will
Okay.
reinvest. Some people like to pay in, and some people like to invest. I like to
Daniel
invest.
Shalav says, make that passive or actively work on all these side hustles. Are you trying to make passive income as soon as possible? Or are you working in all these side hustles? Like, how does all that work?
I
I
got
hope.
I got both. I got both. So like my laundromat, I don't have to do much, right? And there's other stuff. There's small stuff. YouTube, social media, all these stuff are passive. Some of these. So you got both. So if it's paying you good money, you got time, actively do it. If you don't, find a way to do it the other way, passively. So just like my phone business, right? My phone business that we do,
Phone business.
we repair phones, iPhones, iPads, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's it's like I schedule these appointments with these people, like late nights or early morning, to fix a phone, right? But the profit's good. Why not? If I've got 10 minutes or half an hour, if I got half an hour before I close up the laundromat, I'm gonna fix a phone for $100. And you get 100 phones for $100. How much is that? How much is that?
DJ, fuck stop. He's validating all my fucking.
It's money. It's money, and you're helping people.
Sorry.
You know, I literally do. There's times I come to office like around 8:30, 9 p.m. closing. I made $100. Made $100.
Chant's daily hustle. It's amazing. I love it.
So when I fix phones, right? There's not much overhead. So then all that money that I make in the phone business, it can go towards something else. Grow another business.
Bro, You are like validating me in a way so much for that because I have all these little different streams and things going on, and I love having like 20 things going on at once. I thrive off of
We
it.
juggle. We live off of that stuff.
Dude, I
If
love it, bro. But
if
people
we
think
weren't
I'm crazy.
if we weren't juggling, it's not normal. We go crazy.
Robert De Niro says, ask him, what's his advice on the first step to getting out of the field?
First step, finding that one person you can really trust. Even if they don't know anything, train them and test them. And if you can trust them, start building them. Build them. Help. Because
Yeah.
you know what it takes. Be the leader. Build that guy. And then you make some money, and then you can invest in another guy.
Dude, we did this landscape job. When I did the quote, there's an air conditioning unit in the back of the house with one of the wires exposed.
Yeah.
And I told my guys on the property walk, I said, and stop, see that wire?
Mm-hmm.
Don't touch that wire. Don't even go near it.
Right.
So the job's like all getting finished up and everything, and then something happened. We had to like, they didn't want us there during the weekend. They had something was going on. They didn't have a party, but anyways, we come back and the lady's dripping in sweat. And there's like, I don't know. We've been without air conditioning for 3 days. We got an AC guy coming. I go, and I look at the wire, and my guys had like, they broke the wire, and I say, what the fuck, dude? You didn't tell me? They're like, by the end of the day, we forgot. I'm like, you forgot? You fucking forgot. And I'm like, what if there was like an old or disabled person in the house or something happened? And like,
Right.
dude, next thing I know, I'm in these people's basement on the phone with my brother-in-law who's an AC guy, and I managed to fix the whole thing in like 20 minutes and the fuse breakers and repair the wire. And I think about shit like that, like the guy that you can trust, who's conscious, who's competent, who can pay well, and that's my fault. That's my fault.
Our fault. Always our fault. I went through that. You watch my vlogs. I went through that crap. You know how many people worked for me? And finally you get to a point where I'm going to pay more, not pay less for 50 people. I'm going to pay more for 2 people that are great. You know.
So you finally hit a point of resolution in yourself and you go, I don't give a fuck. This is what it's going to be if I got to pay for it because you've been down that road.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an evolution.
Anymore. I don't want to freaking keep bumping my head on the brick wall. So then my 2 guys, they can do 5-6 guys worth of work.
Bro, when you talk, there's something about the way that you talk, and I know I told you this on the phone earlier, and can anybody else attest to this? You speak directly to me in a way that I get it. It's almost like I'm like in elementary school, and you're like, you know, like, and you get it, like, and you explain it in a way that makes me feel like I can do this. Like, dude, I get it. Like,
dude, I'm not smart, man. I dropped out of high school. How smart can I be? The only thing I know best is business and numbers. You know, it's simple. Once we figure it out, we roll with it, man. We roll, go.
Hell yeah.
It's I don't know. I mean, I have my days, but you just correct your days fast. Correct it so it's better.
Yeah. You know, I might even rip this video off of Facebook, cut right to our conversation, and I'm going to upload it on YouTube, dude. This is good.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
We should
I'm going to jump off here. Huh?
We should just have
What's that?
Podcast. We should.
Yeah, I see your podcast setup. I have one too, so we're going to do a podcast soon as well. Yeah. And
Yep. Cool.
Hey, what's up? That hat. Show me the hat. So you said you're giving some away at the GIE Expo?
Yeah, check this out. Here, I'll show you guys. Let me see. How do you switch this? Can I flip this? There we go. Man, technology. Look at these hats, you guys. I got 4 boxes. That's 2, 4, 6, 10 dozen. 6 dozens there. And then some more here. Here. This is what we're giving away. Right there.
I want one, bro.
Bobcat booth. And two
At the
lucky
Bobcat booth on the
yes,
18th.
on the 18th. And then there's going to be two winners that get a Sony A600, brand new one, and a Canon 70D. Whoever gets this tag with the Sony and the Canon, it's going to be randomly placed in these boxes here. I don't know where it's going to be. And whoever comes and I hand them out, who gets it, wins it.
You're giving away a Sony A6000 and a Canon 70D.
Yeah. This is personally mine. Yep, both of these are. Yeah.
Oh, they're in nice condition too.
Oh, yeah. So there it is.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. Thought giving back, you know. It's one of those things. Believe me, that Bobcat did not sponsor those cameras. Bobcat sponsored the hats. That's it. So.
And Chant definitely gives back for sure. You really, really care too.
Oh, yeah.
What's his YouTube channel? Chant's Daily Hustle. Excuse me. CHANTS. Chant's Daily Hustle.
Look at my wife joined. I bet you she can testify.
How many subscribers did you just hit?
About 19,300 something, maybe.
Yeah, I think you got like 4.5 or 5 million views. I just looked it up earlier.
Yeah.
And you've literally become I was gonna say local celebrity, but like you're totally an influencer in your market. And I've seen that people. There was one story, some kid or something. It was like he really wanted to meet you, and
there was a kid from New York that was had disabilities.
Yeah.
But he knew everything, you know, and he wanted to visit, so we made time to visit with him, and you know.
All right, Chant's Daily Hustle pops right up on YouTube. I'm gonna pull it up. I got 5% battery life.
Wife says it's like finding a golden ticket. Oh yeah.
I don't wanna. Here's.
Oh yeah.
Well, don't play that. Sorry. That's the logo.
Hey Keith, do you remember I messaged you remember when I was watching you, I didn't have a YouTube channel? I messaged you, remember?
When was it?
Man, it was 2.5 years ago. And then you messaged back and you said, yeah, I'll check out your channel. I didn't have nothing at that time. I said, hey, check it out. And then
I think so.
It was a long time, yeah. So I didn't start. You started yours first, and then I just followed with everybody else. So. Yeah. Yeah.
And you consistently, I remember people started talking about you like, dude, you got to see this Chant guy. Like his videos look like documentaries, like movies. And then as soon as I saw the thumbnails on your videos, I'm like, all right, this guy's like going to kill it. And you're using like pro cameras, you're a videographer, you're a photographer, and like you do all your own editing?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, dude, I start editing, like when I go home now, at 10 o'clock, I'll start to edit. By 1 o'clock, I'll be done editing and then and schedule it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, okay. All of the stuff is, I do everything myself for now. So, yeah.
I do a lot of my own editing, but now I have two different editors. I got one editor here in Detroit, Quentin Howell from Digital Dream Studios. If anybody sees my videos, they're like amazing production. That's him. And then I have my another editor in Russia that works for me. He's a freelancer, and he edits as well when I don't have time because it's just so much. Some of these vlogs take like 5 hours to edit.
Oh, yeah. I can believe that.
Yeah. Are you on? Do you got TubeMate?
A what?
TubeMate, the app.
Yeah, I was, and then I cut it off.
It's like dope, dude. $19 a month. You literally, I know that you know that. And for the people that are listening, you can literally go through all of your videos, and it'll update all the tags and titles and put end cards like, brrr, and you're just sitting there sipping coffee, and it says you just saved. Like if you value the time at $50 an hour, you just saved $8,275 and saved 35 hours of work with what this app can do.
Yeah, it's a great app. It is. Yeah.
And then Instagram. You're taking these amazing photos on Instagram. How do we find you on Instagram?
Chance, yeah, Chance Daily Hustle at Chance Daily Hustle.
Duh. Perfect.
Hmm.
Okay, cool, man. You inspire me to
Cool.
create better content as well. And
Yeah. Cool. Cool. So
peace out. I'll see you in a
peace.
couple weeks. Oh, wait. Next month at the GIE Expo. I'll be there on the 18th at the Bobcat booth.
For sure, man. Thanks
Who's
for
going to
the
be
support.
there?
It's gonna be big again, man. It's big every year, so
Oh,
yeah.
the after party, the rally. Dude, it's going to
Rally.
be packed.
Mhm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Anybody on here, go to Road to the GIE Expo on the Facebook group. The group's called Road to the GIE Expo. Go in there. You can get all the details if you don't know about it already. Book your hotel rooms like right now. I bet you even right now everything's already packed and sold out. And it's going to be hard to get a hotel room.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So yeah. All right. Cool, cool. I gotta clean up the laundromat, man. I gotta go push some mop and vacuum. I gotta wipe down the machines.
Because he owns a laundromat too.
Yeah.
All right, man. Good night.
Oh, all right, later, man. Thanks.
All right. Later, everybody. Peace out. Do I think Facebook ads are effective? Says Robert De Niro. Oh, he asked a quick question. Yes. The Marketing ROI live event, I did Facebook ads to a warm audience. I had a 22% opt-in rate on my landing page and a 34% conversion rate on ticket sales. So I turned literally $82. It wasn't all off of Facebook ads, but with the follow-up back-end campaign, I turned $82 into off of ad spend, $11,000 in ticket sales. So the conversion rate on that is insane if you have the right audience, the right market, the right demographic, and but if you don't do it right, you'll just piss money away. But I think the best thing about Facebook ads is just get in there and start spending money and learn how it works. Because you can do Facebook ads to your local marketplace and increase your business, increase everything you're doing. It's incredibly cheap. Look up Gary Vaynerchuk, how he talks about it. Look up Miles Beckler on YouTube. He has tons of free Facebook ad shit. All right, peace.